My family, please swing around toward me. Come on. Swing around toward. Come closer. Do not be afraid. It is too late to be afraid. The Queen Mary, yes it is. The Queen Mary was owned and operated by the Cunard Line since 1839. Cunard and the British government have had a contract to deliver mail to and from North America. Plans to build the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth began in 1926. These were to be two of the biggest and the fastest passenger liners ever built. Construction began on job number 534 in December of 1930 at John Brown Shipyard in Clydebank, Scotland. But work on the ship stopped 1 year later because of the Great Depression. Eventually, the British government decided to give Cunard a loan to finish the ship. If they agreed to merge with their rival, the British passenger ship company, the White Star Line. Is anyone familiar with the White Star Line? And what did they do?
Titanic!
They built the Titanic. He said that with enthusiasm. They built the Titanic, that beautiful ship that was not supposed to sink, but it did. Finally, in September of 1934, the Queen Mary was named and launched. Many people assume that a ship is launched on its maiden voyage, but actually, a ship is launched even before the engine or the superstructure, which is the upper deck, is added. Until her launch, the Queen Mary was only known as job number 534. The Queen Mary began her maiden voyage on May 27, 1936. She continued her transatlantic crossings until World War II. The ship was detained in New York. In 1940, the Queen Mary was actually drafted into service as a troop carrier. And after being refurbished to her original peacetime elegance, she once again resumed passenger service until 1967, when in the early 1960s, all transatlantic lines began to realize a loss of revenue. This was due to a loss of passengers because jet air travel had become the primary mode of international transportation. In May of 1967, Cunard announced that Queen Mary was for sale, and the city of Long Beach was the highest bidder with a mere $3,450,000. The ship began its final 39-day voyage from Southampton, England to Long Beach because the Queen Mary was so large she could not pass through the Panama Canal. So therefore she had to travel around the coast of South America and Cape Horn. The Queen Mary arrived in Long Beach on December 9, 1967. Construction began on the ship to convert her from a passenger liner to a floating hotel and tourist attraction. The Queen Mary opened to the public in her present location in May of 1971. On April 15, 1993, the historical light was added to the National Register of Historical Places. And in September of 2004, the RMS Foundation celebrated the 70th anniversary of the launch of the Queen Mary. Also in the year 2004, we celebrated the 68th anniversary of Her Majesty's maiden voyage. Please follow me in this direction. Come on in, my family. There is enough room for all of of us. Come on in. We are family. We're in this area that is today called Piccadilly Circus, named after the famous traffic circle in London. This was the social and the shopping area for the first class passengers, and only for the first class passengers. Displayed here is a marquetry panel. A marquetry panel is put together much like a jigsaw puzzle. Each element of the panel is a piece of wood that is carved and pieced together to form a picture. There are 56 different varieties of wood veneer used throughout this ship, 38 of which are seen here in this marquetry panel. The term veneer refers to a thin layer of exquisite wood that is laid on a tough wooden base. Much of this area here in Piccadilly, my family, Piccadilly Circus looks much the same as it did when the ship was sailing in 1936, except the floor color and the floor pattern have changed. The original interior decking consisted of materials called cricoid or rubeola, as these materials were composed of cork and rubber so as not to be slippery when wet. Believe it or not, the waves could actually reach as high as the promenade deck windows here and break through into this roof. So you can understand why they would need a non-slippery surface at that time. All right, my family, this way, please.
Mom says that when he uses up all his money for a bus, he can do a short ride.
I can get this way.
Yeah.
Come
My family, maybe, just maybe, there is someone in this group that is my age, 19 and a half years old. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're my age, then perhaps you've heard about this movie. Maybe you've talked about the movie. Maybe you've read about the movie. Perhaps you have even seen the movie. It is an original movie with the original title, The Poseidon Adventure. Anyone? If you saw that particular movie, there was a particular scene in the movie where the ship Poseidon turned upside down. Everyone that was in the main ballroom were either falling through the ceiling, walking on the ceiling, or walking or crawling up that Christmas tree trying to escape the main ballroom. A lot of the original Poseidon Adventure was filmed here on board the Queen Mary. A lot of those scenes were filmed here in the Queen's Salon. And of course, unlike the ship Poseidon, the Queen Mary never turned upside down. I gotta say this, guys. it's time for me to have dinner. But does anybody else smell food, or is it just me? Can anybody smell that? Good. I just thought I by myself. This way. The Romanite Jack all the time was there. They were from the old one and that way. 65 years of music dance. There is your eye on these oil statues. What they were like share or exercising by walking the entire length of the Romanite Jack, which is approximately 1/4 of a mile. Now there was one person on board the Queen Mary who did not use the promenade deck for relaxation. That was British Olympic runner Lloyd Burley, who was on board the Queen Mary for her official speed trials in 1936. He ran one lap, 400 yards, in his entire evening dress, which was his tuxedo and shoes, in just under 60 seconds. So you see, this Olympian was quite fast. You may also remember I said to you, the Queen Mary took 39 days to arrive here in Long Beach from Southampton, England. In the process, the waves broke some of these windows. When the ship arrived here in Long Beach, they only measured one window and ordered the necessary amount of replacement panes. Now, when the replacement panes arrived here at the ship to be installed, guess what? Only one of the panes actually fit, and that was the window they measured. And it was because of this, what is called shear to deck, the banana shape that is built into the ship to give it more strength and flexibility. And because the Queen Mary is so large, she requires a great deal of shear. You must understand that in size, the Queen Mary is equivalent to a small city. The Queen Mary is 1,019.5 feet long, 118 feet wide, 185 feet high, containing 12 decks. She offered 22 first-class suites, 328 first-class day rooms, 18 first-class public rooms, accommodating 815 first-class passengers. In second class, with 303 staterooms, 9 public rooms, accommodating 787 second-class passengers. In third class, with 303 staterooms, 6 public rooms, accommodating 583 third-class passengers. She weighed 81,237 gross tons. She carried 2,000 passengers per crossing with a crew of 1,200. And you know, they needed all 1,200 of those crew members because everything on board the Queen Mary was about first class. Speaking of class, I shall now attempt to explain to you class distinctions on board the Queen Mary. Contrary to popular beliefs that all first classes are located at the top of a ship, that all second classes are located at the middle of a ship, that all third classes are located at the bottom of a ship on board the Queen Mary? No, 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 no. That is not the way it goes. Class distinctions on board the Queen Mary are determined by smoothness of ride. Smoothness of ride. So therefore, first class on board the Queen Mary was located in the center of the ship, from top to bottom, because it offered the smooth. That's right. So, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, where do you think second class would have been located?
At the stern.
Who said the stern? Yes, here at the aft end, or the stern, or the rear, or the back of the ship, from top to bottom. It offered a smooth ride, not as smooth as first class, because the second class passengers had to contend with the constant vibration of the engines directly beneath them. And third class would have been located where? Ah, yes, at the bow or the front of the ship. The only problem with being in third class and being at the bow of the ship is that sometimes during rough weather, the bow of the ship could actually begin to plow down into the waves, down into the waves, down into the waves. Can you imagine if you had just eaten a meal? This way, please.
Go ahead and count. You're welcome.
Just right over here, my family. Thank you. Just right over here, please. Thank you. Just right over here, please. Thank you. Just right over here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My family, we're now standing in front of what today reads as the Royal Salon. Originally, when the ship was sailing, this was the first class smoking lounge. Now, the unique thing about the first class smoking lounge, when it originally opened, it was for men only. And the ladies would come over later to have a smoke with the guys. During World War II, this was a hospital ward. Here on the port side, they had a women's ward of 16 beds, an officer's ward of 16 beds, a mental ward of 2 beds, and acute medical ward of 20 beds. And on the starboard side of the room, they had troop accommodations for 147 standing bunks. Standing bunks are beds that are stacked 3 to 5 high. You and I have the luxury when we go home in the evening to go to sleep. Should we desire, we can turn to our left and go to sleep, or turn to our right and go to sleep. But when you got into the standing bunks, you went in sideways. So if you went in sideways on your stomach, you slept for 8 hours on your stomach. Or if you went in sideways on your back, you slept for 8 hours on your back. Because the next bunk, whether it was above you or below you, was about that far from your face. And you did not have a large turning radius when you were sleeping in the standing bunks. Oh yeah, they also had what was called a warm bunking system. Whereas a soldier would sleep in a bed for 8 hours and get up. Another soldier would sleep in that bed for 8 hours and get up. Another soldier was, and the beds never, ever got cold. My family, if you remember when this tour first started, I said to you there will come a time in this tour when I will ask to see your Glory Days historical ticket again. Guess what? That time has now arisen. As I go in to prepare this room for our entrance, please take your Glory Days tickets out so that I can take a peek at them. My family, please stand where you are standing, and I shall soon return back to you.
Oops.
Might not be windy, though. It's getting that windy out there for like
My family, as we enter into the first class main lounge, I will need your participation in several ways. When we enter, please walk forward. Find a place in the center or the middle of the dance floor, come on through, ladies, of the dance floor in which to stand. Please leave the area in front of the large screen open. If you have a camera, feel free to take pictures. And lastly, we cannot sit down. Please take your Glory Days tickets out and enter.
Go ahead. You're welcome.
But instead of repeating mechanisms,
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You want it? You want
No,
it?
it's yours.
Okay.
good.
My family, before I continue, I meant to ask you when I was out there, is there anyone in this group that's local? Anybody local? Or are you all out of town? The reason I was asking is because next month, on February 5th, from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m., it shall be free to enter onto the Queen Mary. You will, of course, have to pay for alcohol, food, and tours. That day, Queen Elizabeth II will be docked right out here. So if you're in town or in the close proximity, come on back and take many, many pictures. That is one beautiful ship, guys. So I thought I'd let you know about that. All right. Welcome to the first class smoking lounge. This room was designed to recreate the dignified
God bless you.
atmosphere of a typical English country manor. This room was filled with overstuffed chairs and couches on a central throw rug. The activities in this room included auctioning for the ship's toast, where the passengers were actually by numbers to try and guess how many miles the Queen Mary would steam in 24 hours. They also liked to play cards, but they were given a warning because professional gamblers were known to stalk the transatlantic lines looking for unsuspecting victims. This room was also the office of a vicious villain in an episode of Quantum Leap, starring Scott Bakula. This counter at the aft end of the room was the steward's hot cupboard and warming plate. Should you desire to have hot coffee or tea, they would provide it for you at that station. On the starboard side in this corner was an American-style walk-up cocktail bar. James Woodford carved from lime wood here on these panels, these intricate panels that have been with the ship since its inception. There are 3 other fireplaces on board the Queen Mary that are electric as a fire prevention measure. This fireplace behind this screen was the only fireplace that could actually burn wood. My family, please notice these buttons here on the pillars and on the walls throughout this room. These buttons were used to summon the smoking stewards from the rear of the room. In the event that you wanted cigars, cigarettes, pipes, tobacco, or whatever you needed, then the smoking stewards would take care of your necessities. There are 2 paintings in this room. Both of these paintings are by Mr. Edward Wadsworth. Mr. Wadsworth had 2 trademarks in each of his paintings. The first trademark is the Queen Mary on the horizon here, and the Queen Mary on the horizon here. The second trademark was the use of international signal flags in the background on each of these paintings. Now, Mr. Wadsworth did not sign his name to these paintings, but instead used the international signal flags to put his initials E.W. These 2 flags in the background. The red, white, and black flag, and the red and black flag. E.W. Edward Wadsworth in the background. That was how he signed his name to these paintings. My family, are there any questions?
How much did Long Beach pay for this?
$3.5 million. My family, I have something else to show you, but I need you to step over here. I need you to be careful of this. Step over here. Everyone be careful. I'll stand here so you can do this. Closer. Closer. Good. Because I'm going to walk over there. Good. Now just don't get on that, all right? Now on my watch. My family, the woods in this room are called tiger-faced oak. My family, I present to you the tiger's face, the tiger's mouth, the tiger's whiskers, the tiger's nose,
Can't see.
the tiger's eyes, and the tiger's ears. This is tiger-faced oak. This illusion is seen throughout throughout this room. Some are larger and some are smaller. And some even have tiger faces within tiger faces. My family, I also do what are called ed tours, or educational tours, whereas local schools will bring students onto the ship, and I will give them an educational tour of the ship. About 2 years ago, I was in here talking about this room and showing the young people the tiger face oak. And it goes to show you that more than one pair of eyes sometimes is needed. After I finished showing this image over here, there was a young lady in the group that said to me, "But Captain James, Captain James," I said, "Yes." She said, "What about the alien face?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Captain James, there's an alien face there. Does anybody see that alien face? You see it? You see it? Okay. I'm going to show you one that young lady showed me. I can step back so I can see it. Yes. Directly above my fingers, right here. See it? About 2 inches above my fingers, guys. Straight up above my fingers, about 2 inches. Yes. You see it, young ones? You see it, young lady? Young man, you see it? Yes. Come over here. About 2 inches above my fingers is where it is. As a matter of fact, there's one over there where the bigger tiger face is. It's like I told you. I had never, ever seen it. And I've been in here for years talking about this wood, but I never saw the alien face until that young lady said so. Are there any questions? All right, my family, this way, please.
I saw it, I was thinking, but it wasn't.
That was the one he was talking about?
He's done it. Because the one I saw was
Yeah.
maybe it's fake.
My family, is everyone familiar with the large dome just behind you? For those of us who are not, that dome at one time was the home of the Spruce Goose, the world's largest wooden aeroplane that was built by Mr. Howard Hughes, the man the movie The Aviator is all about. Today, the Spruce Goose is located in McMinnville, Oregon, at an aeroplane museum there. The Spruce Goose left Long Beach over 21 years ago. This dome today is the home of the Carnival Cruise Line, as well as being a movie set. The last Batman movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it was filmed in that dome. A scary movie called The Haunting was filmed in the dome, and parts of the original Pirates of the Caribbean were also filmed in that dome. Who is the gentleman on that picture? That is Liberace on board the Queen Mary in 1952. For those of us who do not know who Liberace was a great pianist. Well, I guess you could say he was the Elton John of his time. This way, please.
Yeah, the couscous and over there.
Get it all.
All over the world.
Please go ahead.
You all right, Mom?
So.
Okay.
My family, we've now entered into second class, and the question is always asking me, how did they separate first, second, and third class passengers? I need to say this to you. They did not have bars on board the Queen Mary to separate first, second, and third class passengers. The steward and stewardess on board the Queen Mary took pride in the fact that they could remember the names, the likes, and the dislikes of the passengers that traveled on board the Queen Mary. So therefore, they knew who was in first class. They knew who was in second class. They knew who was in third class. You see, third class had to stay in third class. Second class had to stay in second class. First class could go anywhere they wanted throughout the ship. What I am going to say next has nothing whatsoever to do with my tour. Nada. Not a thing. Did anybody ever see my favorite TV show? I hated that. They canceled my show. It broke my heart. It broke my heart. It was called CSI Miami. Anybody? Nobody? My family, I present to you, as you look out of the windows, CSI Miami. They filmed CSI Miami right here in Long Beach, as well as NCIS Los Angeles, as well as Dexter. There was also another TV series on TNT entitled The Last Ship. It is about chemical warfare. Many of the opening sequences of that show were filmed here on board the Queen Mary. There's also another TV series on FX entitled The Bridge. It is about the Mexican-American border. My family, we cannot see it from where we're standing right now, but the very first bridge right here on your left-hand side is the Mexican-American border. Hollywood, Hollywood messes with our heads all the time. Does anyone remember what I call this?
Yep.
What did I call it? Yes, sheer to death, the banana shape that is built into the ship. Guess what? I didn't lie to you. Honestly, I did not. But then again, I want each of you to see for yourselves. This way, please.
I can hear the horn go off. I heard the horn go off.
Not really.
Yeah.
Look down the hall at the bottom of the deck. the side hand railings, and the upper lighting fixtures, and yes, you can see the sheer to deck, the banana shape that is built into the ship to give it more strength and flexibility. My family, I did an experiment once. I stood with my back against these two doors. I'm standing at 6'1", so I'm guesstimating these doors to be about 6'4". I sent another tour guide all the way forward. There are 2 other doors at the forward end of this deck that are just as tall as these doors. That tour guide had a radio. I had a radio. I said to the tour guide, when you arrive there, call me. When the tour guide arrived at that door at the forward end of this deck, he said, James, I'm here. That's good. Now let's turn and face each other. When the 2 of us turned to face each other, all we could see were each other's ankles because of the sheer to deck, the banana shape that is built into the ship to give it more strength and flexibility. Now, if you look past that couple that's walking in the hallway, and you look all the way down to where the light is, you can see the people's ankles. You can see only the ankles, guys. Isn't that amazing? But you can't see it right now because it's in the hallway. As you look at the lights, you see the lights disappearing. You see the handrails going up.
No, I can see that.
Has anyone seen the sheer, has everyone seen the sheer to deck? Everyone? Good. Come on, let's walk on it.
I heard the horn go off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
All right. You staying on board?
Yes.
Cool.
Right there, that's my room.
So you haven't heard my big mouth over here today?
No.
I am too.
Second cruise ship we ever went on, you could actually see.
See the shears of deck.
Yeah.
If you get the opportunity to go down one deck beneath us on A deck, you can it's really pronounced. My family, I am not a ghost tour guide. I repeat, I am not a ghost tour guide. Sometimes on board the Queen Mary, when people are taking pictures with their digital cameras, they capture what we call floating orbs. Now, I've seen some of the pictures of those floating orbs. And inside of those floating orbs, I have seen what looks like the image of a face. So when you get home this evening, scroll through your digital pictures, and who knows what you may have captured on board the Queen Mary. My family, you will notice there are 2 lights above the door here, 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 here. These lights were used to summon the steward or the stewardess to your first class cabin or to your first class suite. The red light was for the steward and the green light was for the stewardess. The steward would take care of the gentleman and the stewardess would take care of the ladies. It was all about being spoiled on board the Queen Mary. Come, my family. I hope not.
Right. And it was the neat thing, so that's why they put plastic and
And if you go into the showers inside, you'll see that the wall
45 minutes. Wow.
inside the shower. Yeah. And to us, it's like the cheapest thing you can think of, right? But at that time, it was like the thing. It was like more expensive, more expensive than marble.
Really?
Yeah.
They're pretty broken.
Don't walk upstairs.
Yeah, actually stay in the hotel. I mean, in the stairs. And the actual room.
Are we on a tour?
We
Yeah.
are.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, we're blocking you.
Nope.
Was it cabin?
Staterooms, I don't. Be a door here.
This was the first class run. We're in the middle of the ship right now. Yeah, look.
Dark hallway.
Just right over here, please. Just right over here, please. Thank you. Just over here, my family. Thank you. Just right over here, please. Thank you, thank you. Just over here, please. Thank you. My family, when we entered into this deck, through those doors at the aft end, we have entered into first class, as well as into the Hotel Queen Mary. We have 346 rooms on board the Queen Mary. We no longer have second class rooms. We no longer have third class rooms. All of those areas have been physically removed and are now exhibit or exhibition areas on board the Queen Mary. Today, this day, this hour, this second, all 346 rooms on board the Queen Mary are booked up for this weekend.
Wow.
Now that is good business, as well as good for the economy. The suites normally consisted of 5 rooms. The smaller suites consisted of 3 rooms. And the larger suites consisted of 10 rooms. That could be any combinations of bedrooms, bathrooms, dining rooms, steward's rooms, maid's rooms, valet's rooms. The suites were also fitted with luggage rooms. The Duke and Duchess of Windsor were known to bring 80 pieces of luggage into their suite, with another 75 pieces in the cargo hold. And ladies, you thought you carried a lot of luggage on vacation. In some of the rooms over the tubs, there are 4 knobs or 4 taps, hot, cold, fresh, and salt. Many people in the 1930s considered saltwater baths to be therapeutic. So, Cunard and the Queen Mary provided them with salt water soap. Also in the bathrooms at that time, the towel racks were electrically heated. When you step out of the tub, you would have a nice warm towel to wrap yourself in. Round trip for 2 in first class at that time was 214 pounds or 1,070 American dollars. In either case, that was a lot of money during the 1930s. Yes, these rooms are for rent. To get the correct pricing and the availability of the rooms on board the Queen Mary, please contact the hotel front desk on A deck, which is located one deck beneath us. They will give you the correct pricing and the availability of the rooms on board the Queen Mary. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, are there any questions?
Captain James,
Yes.
were there swimming pools on?
There were actually 2 swimming pools on board the Queen Mary. There was a swimming pool located in second class. There was a swimming pool located in first class. The second class swimming pool no longer exists. It is now a theater used by Cal State Long Beach where plays are actually performed. The first class swimming pool is now located, well, it has always been located at the forward end of the ship. It is, bless you, part of the Ghosts and Legends and Haunted Encounters tour. The first class swimming pool no longer contains water. It is too old to maintain the weight and the pressure of all of that water. Are there any other questions? My family, on behalf of the RMS Foundation, I personally want to thank each of you for coming on board this beautiful lady, looking at her, bless you, her artwork, her architecture, her decor, learning of her history, and feeling her ambiance. I say to each of you, thank you. Come back again. Tell someone else about the Queen Mary. Do you know why? Because she is also now part of our history. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, have a fantastic day on board the Queen Mary, and thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. You heard that. Well, you are still standing. That either means one or 2 things. Either you love me or you are lost. To get to your next destination, all you have to do is walk up either side of the stairs here. At the top of the stairs is the promenade deck. On the promenade deck, you can shop, you can dine, you can drink, you can shop. My family, until next time, take care. Stay safe. Yeah. Yes.